In a while, of course, it'll be 15 hours, and then 20 hours, and then a whole day. What happened in Manhattan this morning is receding, slipping back along all those countless small-town main streets, and along all those miles of highway, hurtling backwards through time, and at what feels like an unnaturally rapid pace. But it's also beginning to break up under the immense pressure, beginning to crack and fragment into separate shards of memory, while simultaneously remaining, of course, in some kind of a suspended, inescapable present tense, said hard, unbreakable, more real and alive than anything I can see around me here in this motel room. I look at my watch again. The thought of what happened sets my heart pounding, and audibly, as if it's panicking in there and will shortly be forcing its way, thrashing and flailing out of my chest. But at least my head hasn't started pounding. That will come, I know, sooner or later. The intense pinprick behind the eyeballs spreading out into an excruciating skull-wide agony. But at least it hasn't started yet. Clearly, though, time is running out. So, how do I begin this? I suppose I brought the laptop with me intending to get everything down on a disk, intending to write a straightforward account of what happened. And yet here I am hesitating, circling over the material, dithering around as if I had a couple of months at my disposal and some sort of reputation to protect. The thing is, I don't have a couple of months. I probably only have a couple of hours. And I don't have any reputation to protect. But I still feel as if I should be going for a bold opening here, something grand and declamatory. The kind of thing a bearded, omniscient narrator from the 19th century might put into Kickstarter's latest 900-pager. The broad stroke. Which I feel would go with the general territory. But the plain truth is there was nothing broad-strokish about it. Nothing grand and declamatory in how all of this got started. Nothing particularly auspicious in my running into Vernon Gant on the street one afternoon a few months ago. And that, I suppose, really is where I should start. Chapter 2. Vernon Gant. Of all the various relationships and shifting configurations that can exist within a modern family, of all the potential relatives that can be foisted upon you, people you'll be tied to forever in documents and photographs, in obscure corners of memory, surely for sheer tenuousness, absurdity even, one figure must stand towering above all others, one figure alone and multi-hyphenated, the ex-brother-in-law. Hardly fabled in story and song, it's not a relationship that requires renewal. What's more, if you and your former spouse don't have any children, then there's really no reason for you ever to see this person again in your entire life. Unless, of course, you just happen to bump into him in the street and are unable, or not quick enough, to avoid making eye contact. It was a Tuesday afternoon in February, about 4 o'clock, sunny and not too cold. I was walking along 12th Street at a steady clip, smoking a cigarette, heading towards Fifth Avenue. I was in a bad mood and entertaining dark thoughts about a wide range of subjects. My book for Kerr and Dexter, Turning On, From Haight-Ashbury to Silicon Valley, chief among them, though there was nothing unusual about that, since the subject thrummed relentlessly beneath everything I did, every meal I ate, every shower I took, every ball game I watched on TV, every late-night trip to the corner store for milk or toilet paper or chocolate or cigarettes. My fear on that particular afternoon, as I remember, was that the book just wouldn't hang together. You've got to strike a delicate balance in this kind of thing between telling the story and telling the story, if you know what I mean. And I was worried that maybe there was no story, that the basic premise of the book was a crock of shit. In addition to this, I was thinking about my apartment on Avenue A and 10th Street and how I needed to move to a bigger place. But how that idea also filled me with dread, taking my books down off their shelves, sorting through my desk, then packing everything.